I'm kidding, of course.
Why wouldn't you be proud of that?
I am
You
proud
just
of
graduated with an MBA?
an MBA and an MS in sport business.
What are you going to do with sports business? What is your goal?
I don't know. So I just came from therapy, and she asked, she was like, do you want to go into sports? I was like, honestly, no.
Like therapy? Like therapy?
Yeah, gotta get the mind right.
Is that where you were just now?
But like,
what do you mean you don't want to get into sports?
I don't think I want to get into sports because the work-life balance is not what I want.
Yeah.
So like, say I worked for the Sabres, right? I'd be working weekends, holidays until midnight.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't appeal to me at this stage in my life. And I don't think it ever will.
So you're talking about you want to do sports at like that level. What about college level?
College level, I don't know where I would enter. Like what college sports what I would do in college athletics, I guess, is what I'm saying.
You could be, well, I mean, you can work your way up to be an athletic director.
That would be crazy.
That would be sweet.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
What about college coaching? Have you gotten into any thought of that?
Not really. I don't think
there's work-life balance in that too.
Is there?
There's not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. College coaching. I don't know. I would need to start with like little 12-year-olds before I could teach, before I could coach.
Why? Most people don't.
Really?
Most people just go right into college coaching. Oh yeah.
Well,
like GAs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well,
and then they'll like do club stuff on the side, but that's never their goal.
I tried to be a soccer GA. I was talking to IUP for a little bit.
IUPUI, UEPUE.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the frustration that I get with a lot of coaches because they want to coach at the highest levels, and then they coach at the younger levels just to supplement their income, and they really don't care about coaching at that young level.
Right.
And so it's kind of a half-ass job because all they want to do is coach at the highest level.
I think we've all been a victim of that.
I see it all the time.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts.
It is. Yeah.
So what are you doing this summer? So you're just out there looking for a job?
Yeah, I'm roughing all summer. I did my first BDSL middle.
You did a BDSL
I did a
men's?
BDSL, yes. It was D4 though, but I still did it.
So, I mean, okay.
I was really proud of myself.
I can rip the BDSL like guys. They're just so like.
No, I know.
Their social media posts, like they act like they're a pro team and stuff like that. It's frustrating.
It's scary.
But how did you do?
I did so well.
Okay.
Scott was. Do you know Scott?
No.
I can't think of his Scott B. He was the line. I think you might recognize him if you saw him.
Okay.
He said I did wonderful. I wasn't supposed to be in the middle.
You should like. I was talking to like Marissa Brazon or Carissima the other day about you should like pursue reffing. Like the girl from Rochester was reffing at the World Cup.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, I don't know the steps to.
Yeah, I'd have to upgrade a few. I'd have to go up a few.
Yeah, but you're already doing ECN. You do ECNL games, right?
I do lines for ECNL, yeah.
I mean, BDSL. I mean.
Yeah. No, I've talked to a few people about upgrading and stuff like that. So I think.
What is it? Just more testing?
Yeah, so I would have to do a fitness test, I believe. Right. Jokes. And then I think I get less chances on the test. So instead of like 5, I would get 4, which would be fine.
Right.
And I would have to be assessed. So that would be like the real test. So an assessor would have to come.
How old were you when you started reffing?
12.
And then an assessor what?
So an assessor will come to a game and they'll watch. They'll watch how I manage the players, how I communicate with my ARs, and things like that.
Do they come and watch you as an AR, or are they
No.
really only watching?
They are only watching. Like, your assessor cannot be a part of the game. So they just have to come and watch. Right.
But are they watching you as a linesman, and you could say, oh, you're going to be a...
No. They would... You don't really get assessed on the line.
Become an assessor.
Well, yeah, I have to move up a few a little bit, though. I've been a mentor. I've been a mentor referee. I've taught new refs how to ref.
I mean, oh my God, where was that? Oh, I was at ECNL games, and I swear to God, the ARs are never on the last man, ever.
No.
And the guy in the middle is like, stays at the middle because he's like 60.
Yeah.
And he's trying to keep up with play with like a 14-year-old girl. It just doesn't work.
It doesn't.
I don't get it. And we need more refs, but so many refs just bail because they get yelled at by adults.
Yeah, that's definitely
How
the
often
hardest
have you
part.
gotten like yelled at by adults?
When I was younger, all the time. As I've gotten older, you kind of, I don't want to say you tune it out.
But also, like, there's a certain point where they've had you a lot.
Yes.
And they know that you're like a legit ref.
Sometimes the players will get to know you.
Mm-hmm.
The coaches will. But it's just the parents. And I think the problem with that is the parents, they know more than they used to, but they still don't know what they're talking about. With the utmost respect, they don't. And they're biased. You know, they want their kid, and they think when their kid goes in for a hard tackle and, you know, they fall down, that's a foul. But it's not. You know, it's just, you know.
It's part of the game.
It is. And sometimes, obviously, there's things that we need to call. And, like, yeah, refs could be better, but doing our best.
So you're going to be reffing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're completely done at Drexel.
Completely done at Drexel. Done with school.
That seemed quick.
Did it? It was 2.5 years.
Was it?
I extended my GA, yeah. So it was 2020 to March 23.
Oh, that's right. Because during COVID, you were all online.
Yeah, I was home.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So did you end up liking Philly?
Yeah. No,
because like early on, you didn't like it.
Yeah, my first fall was really tough. What
was your first time away?
Yeah, and it was just, there was so much happening with school and, you know, stuff at home. But once I came back January 21, I was fine. I was like, this is awesome.
I think like the older you wait to go away,
mm-hmm.
the more hard it is.
Yes, I think so, because
if you're 18 and you go away, it's like, okay, this is life now.
Yeah, and you're in a different environment. So when you're 18, you go away, you're in a dorm, you're with a whole bunch of other people, and, you know, chances are you might be on a team or something, so you have that. But it was really me and my 3 roommates, and that was kind of it.
Did you meet, like...
Yeah, I mean, after a little bit, I met other people.
Right.
Like, at first, you didn't have, like, hundreds of people to choose from. I wasn't going into class. Like, I was just going into work.
Were your roommates all students there?
One of them was. But the other 2 were full-time.
How did that work? Full-time what?
They
full-time, like, jobs?
Yeah, like adults, yeah.
How did you find the roommate?
Well, they were our age.
Okay.
So my one roommate that I worked with, she went to high school with them.
Okay.
And then she was like, oh, I'm buying a house. Let's all live together. And then they needed one more. And she said, hey. And I said, absolutely. So it worked out.
And you're just living at home?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because I don't have a job.
You will.
Yeah.
So, you've been watching like any of the college videos that I've been doing?
Yeah,
so this kid comes up to me, or actually he DMs me. He's like, hey, I'm going to Houghton in the fall, and I think you should do a seminar with all your college players and talk about, you know, the challenges of college soccer. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do a seminar, but I want to get every single collegiate player in here just to talk about their experience. Yeah. And I've had such good feedback from everybody that they're like, oh, I learned more from Ella Rudney's video than I did from anything my club has done for me.
Well, yeah.
Because it's the truth, you know? So I want to talk about that. Like, your dad always gives me like topics like, okay, ask her about this. I'm like, I'm not gonna be like your dad, like, when we're in here, it could easily be 3 hours.
Oh, he can just...
Well, so can I.
I know, you guys all day.
Yeah.
All day.
I love it.
He loves talking to you. He gets so excited. He's like, I'm seeing Jason this week. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
I'll probably meet up with him soon, especially now that the NFL schedule is going to be out.
Yeah.
So Daemen.
Daemen.
Are you the all-time leading goal scorer there?
Mm-hmm.
How many goals did you score? 50?
55.
55.
55.
55 goals.
Yep.
What's the second? What's the second most, you know? And who?
I think her name's Kim Walker, but that might be wrong.
Okay.
I know she has 50-something. She was up there, too. She might have 54.
Did you start as a freshman?
I did.
Or did you play like the entire games, mostly?
Yes.
Right as a freshman,
Yeah.
right out the gate.
Not preseason. Preseason was ugly. I was playing in the midfield.
Yeah.
And just the way the system was, how our team wasn't a good fit.
When did you move up top?
Freshman year. So
eventually,
very quickly. Yes, we did.
Out wide or up top, like in the middle?
So we only played with 2
Okay.
up top. So
yeah,
both.
And you played at South.
I did.
What club did you play for? Blackwatch?
Yes. So I played for Blackwatch my senior year.
Yeah.
But up until I made the switch to Blackwatch, I was at Empire.
Empire.
Yes.
And was Daemen kind of like the last resort?
It wasn't last resort. I definitely wanted to go away. When I was looking at schools, I was really pushing to go out of town. I was looking at Wilmington. I was looking at Fredonia. I was looking at Oberlin. I was looking all over the place. Roberts Wesleyan. But I talked to Dan Dolan, and it was kind of the perfect fit.
Did you know Dan prior?
No, I did not.
I wonder if he was at Empire then. Or like was he at Empire when you were at Empire?
I don't know.
Who's your coach at Blackwatch? Hesh?
Yeah.
Everybody likes Hesh.
Everybody?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I like her.
Charisma talks highly of him.
They were
They were
great.
I don't think I've ever met him.
They were really good. I think it was exactly what I needed to kind of get me to the next level and then help me put myself at that next level. So I never made an ODP team. And like when I was growing up, ODP was all the rage.
When ODP
mattered. Yeah, when ODP mattered.
I miss it. I miss ODP mattering.
Yeah, it was.
Or State Cup at least.
I was just speaking to a ref about State Cup, and it just doesn't matter. But
it doesn't matter because
growing up, that was the pinnacle.
That
you wanted to go to State Cup.
And I mean, I was coming up in Michigan as a player and coach, and it was always the same clubs winning all of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was always Vardar or like Michigan Wolves, Hawks for the girls, but at least we got to play against those guys,
right?
Right. So if we made a quarterfinal or the regional semifinal, we get to play. We get to play them.
Right. And the play-in games, those were so much fun. The play-down games were like But now
it's weird here because in Michigan, it's actually more like a tournament. So we play like 3 round robins.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
And then you get out. So when I first got here, I was judged by another coach. Be like, well, they've won a state cup. How many state cups have you won? I'm like, dude, I came from Michigan where you had to win 9 games to win a state cup.
Right, you just had to get there.
Here, you win your playing game and you're basically in the finals.
Yeah.
Or in the
quarterfinals,
the tournament or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now you have Flash, who's the top club, and then you have RNYFC, and they're in 2 different platforms, and they never get to play each other, and there's no rivalry. And all people get to say is, well, we're better than you. It's like, prove it. We can't prove it.
Right, we've never played each other.
I think they need to bring State Cup back and make them play it. Or do the FA Cup, right? So you have a 3rd division, or 4th division, like Wrexham. Did you watch that show?
No.
Welcome to Wrexham.
No.
It's Ryan Reynolds' club.
Oh, no.
Oh, now you're gonna watch it. It's like Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney from Always Sunny. But anyway, they own the club, and then in the FA Cup they could play Manchester City,
right?
And then you get that we don't have that here, and
No.
I hate soccer here, but
It's just not what I hate to say it's not what it used to be, but it's really not. Like, State Cup used to be the biggest thing. It's what we'd work towards, and, you want to make it, and you'd want to make the roster for State Cup.
mm-hmm.
But now I think anyone can kind of go.
It's just, it sucks.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really, yeah. But I'm not as in it as I used to be. I haven't lived here. I don't really know what's going on.
Nothing's really changed.
Okay, that's good.
The same dominant forces
Mm-hmm.
are still the same dominant forces, and it's not going to change unless somebody else will create something
Right.
rather than just merge.
Yeah.
Oh, our club failed? Well, I'm just going to merge with them rather than just let's rebuild it.
Right.
Whatever. I have so many thoughts on that. But whatever. So, how did you get, how did you reach out to Dan Dolan, or did Dan Dolan come and see you play and then?
So they saw me at ODP. So I had gotten cut from ODP every year until my last year,
What year did you graduate high school?
2016.
Okay.
So I got cut every single year until my last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I made it, and I ended up playing center mid in the ODP tournament. And that's where Dan saw me. And then that's why he played me. He recruited me as a center mid. So that's how that whole thing happened. Yeah. It's tough.
How did ODP tournament work for Region 1? So you go,
Yeah.
Obviously you go to regional camp.
No.
What's the ODP tournament?
So they got rid of it. They got rid of
The tournament?
the regional tournament because, or I think they did, at least my year, because we won that tournament.
Okay.
So we would meet once a month, practice all day, do that whole thing. And then we had the tournament in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And
then you just play other states.
yeah, you play other states. No. Yeah. You play other states, other regions. Because we were afraid of losing to New York East.
Yeah, because it's two separate states.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they were very good, very strong. But we won. And then,
That includes New York City, right?
yes.
Got it.
And we had ended up winning the tournament. But for some reason, we didn't get to go to the next tournament. I feel like they got rid of it that year.
So, did you guys, at regional tournament or regional camp, did you guys train? Because at Region 2, where I coached ODP in Michigan, and then I was a regional staff member for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And how we did it was we would train in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the evening, you play other states. And then that was the tournament. Then, after the first game, that first day, we had pool training.
Oh.
Not in the pool,
Oh.
but it's a player pool.
Oh.
It's
What the heck?
it's a player pool, and all the Region 2 scouts
Yes.
are up until 2 a.m., 3 a.m., hammering out a list of 36 kids that get to go to pool training, and that's what everybody wanted to do.
Right. So I never did that.
So did Region 1 do that at all?
I think Carissima did. I think,
I need to talk to her about
yeah,
that.
that's more of a Carissima question because I never made it that far.
And
I only made the team once.
And it was so awesome because the list would get posted at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and it would be on one hotel door. So you had to find the door of where the listing was, and it was just awesome. And then at the end of the week, so each morning there was pool training, and then at the end of the week, there was a final pool game, and everybody at the camp, all the different states, would go and watch the pool game of the best players.
Oh my goodness.
Then closing ceremony, all the kids that made the regional pool had to stay an extra week.
Right.
And they were announced, and it was just big time stuff. It was so awesome.
That does sound awesome.
And there's kids that I coached that are still playing professionally all around, and that was my favorite thing. And with our camps, I kind of want to do something like that, where I want to do. This is our first year of doing an outdoor camp or outdoor camps. But what I want to do is eventually get it up to that level where there's a bunch of like teams and a bunch of kids come in, and then we make a pool training of like, okay, pool training, you'll go with your normal groups, but then we're going to have a pool training that trains with me in the morning. And like your goal is to be in that pool training the next morning.
That would be fun.
That would be, but we need the numbers.
Right. So this is year 1. When is that this year?
We're doing 2. It's hanging up over there.
Oh, okay.
You gonna help us?
Do you want me to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need coaches.
Yeah.
I think.
I'll do it.
Our registration's doing pretty good right now.
When is it?
We're doing 1 in July and 1 in Zill. Some church.
St. Greg's?
No. There's a church right by Charisma's house.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
It's like CSC or something like that.
CAA. It's a high school.
CAA. Boom.
The high school?
CAA. And then Clarence still hasn't told me like where my location is. I'm like,
of course.
Guys, I need to know where my location is so I can get like the official registration up. And they're dragging their feet because Clarence has one at the exact same time. And I don't know if they're like treating me like a competitor, but it's like, dude, you can have all the Clarence kids. I'll have everybody else.
I'll take everyone else.
Like,
it's not, let me know. I'm just away the last week in July.
Where you going?
TLV in New Hampshire.
TLV.
Twin Lake Village, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
For what? Just vacation?
Yeah, my best friend family goes every year, and I got the invite, so.
First year?
Yeah.
First year? You've been friends for like 10 years?
Yeah.
This is your first?
Yeah.
Film?
Yep.
What do you do, like, you're retired.
I am retired.
What do you do, like, for, like that itch?
The itch?
Do you just, like, work out on your own and
I
stuff?
do. I do work out.
And that fills it?
I don't know if I've gotten the itch back yet. I think...
Itch back to, like, play?
Because sometimes I do.
Okay.
Sometimes I do, but then it's like, what am I going to play? Where am I going to play? When am I going to do it?
Would you be happy just playing co-ed and stuff like that?
I'm not intimidated by co-ed. I don't know if I like...
Why?
So this is my thing. It's really hard for me to kind of play at that level. It's like, it's just so different. And it's supposed to be a lot of fun, but I think I take it too seriously sometimes.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Usually it's the men that take it too. And
that's scary as well.
Yeah.
That's really scary.
Like, I think it was Marcy got like wrecked a couple weeks ago.
Probably.
And then Charisma gets like knocked around all the time.
All the time. And it's like...
But that's where she got her itch back. Because
Yeah.
Post ACLs, post UB,
Yeah.
she played co-ed, and then that's what really got her excited for that first FC Buffalo season. Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe I'm going to take the summer, see if I feel any differently when winter sessions roll around.
Yeah, because maybe you will.
Right, and I'm sure I will. I mean, I've been around it for so long. And I will say reffing does bring the itch back because it makes me want to play.
Does it make you want to play or make you want to coach? A
little bit of both. So when I was doing that BDSL middle, I found myself, I don't want to say playing, but I was moving as if I was a center mid.
Okay.
And I would just see all these things that they were missing. And I noticed that when I did a 15 girls game 2, I was like, it's there. Like the gaps are there, but we're not my team, but like they're not finding them. So that made me want to play, and I feel like it also made me want to coach a little bit.
So I've been going out to like ECNL games.
Mm-hmm.
This past weekend, I went to Rochester to go watch a GA game. Mm-hmm. And everybody always asks me, it's like, do you miss team coaching? And I always say immediately, no, I don't miss it at all. But when I go to games like that and I watch little mistakes, little like game mistakes that can't be taught in this environment because those situations just aren't in here, right? But it's like things should have been covered when they were like 10, 11, 12, and they don't do it. And that, it's like the little nuances of that, that makes me like miss
team coaching.
Or just not even team coaching, just game coaching sometimes.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't miss it at all because I don't miss that lifestyle. I don't miss waking up in Ohio at 7 a.m. for a 6 a.m. for an 8 a.m. kickoff.
Right. And it's going to be 45 degrees
exactly.
and raining.
I don't miss that at all.
No, it doesn't sound.
And then some people are like, well, you should just start a club. Why the hell would I want to do that? Why would I want that headache?
Right.
And then I have to compete. And then all I have is like the Flash trying to
take you over.
Take me over and take all of our players and whatnot. I'll just instead just supplement. And I don't support any particular club.
You're neutral.
I'm neutral. I'm Switzerland. Whatever. But I don't know. So, and I don't know if I want to like say this on video, but like I still want to grow.
Yeah.
I want to grow.
You have so much growth potential.
So obviously we're trying to like fill every single hour in here, and in the summer we will.
Right.
But then like September hits, and it's so frustrating because it's not even high school soccer. I don't mind that. It's modified soccer that takes away players that I can't stand. It's like, why are you guys doing modified? Like middle school soccer is not a thing in Michigan.
It's a thing.
Only the big time, like really like hoity-toity schools has middle school teams.
Middle school teams. Every school really.
It's like I don't know.
Modified was. It was a joke.
It is a joke.
It is. It really is.
And then you have some seventh graders making JV teams over here. You have some seventh graders. Kristen Pickard, who plays at Bonnie's, she was on her varsity team in like 6th grade. I'm like, where the hell am I?
Right.
This is in 2015. I'm like, where am I?
That's weird. I feel like that shouldn't be allowed.
No. Well, then you have people that you played against, like Pizzino and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was on varsity for a long time.
Yeah, that's how she scored 3,000 goals in her career.
Yeah, she had a lot of goals.
How many high school goals did you score?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. Not a lot.
Really? And then you go and score 55 goals at Daemen.
Yeah.
Well, did you guys ever make the tournament?
Once. My senior year, like the NCAAs?
Yeah.
Yeah, once.
That was your senior year?
Yeah.
Because you won the conference. No, you didn't?
We didn't even make the we were at large bid.
How are you in an at-large bid and you didn't even make your conference tournament?
Well, that's where we were really thrown off. It was because we had a really difficult schedule and we did well out of conference.
You played that one team. Oh my God, the game that I went to.
What one team? Bridgeport?
Yeah, that was like really good. And I'm watching that.
Where I missed the PK.
Yes.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to.
Didn't you hit it to crossbar too another time?
I don't know if I hit the crossbar, but I just remember. So I remember weeks leading up to that game.
Yeah.
And I said, I know that this game's going to be decided on a PK. And I knew that I was most likely going to be the one to take it. So you were in your
head.
Not even in my head. I was like preparing for it. Like I was ready.
Yeah.
So I step up to the line. And it wasn't the goalie that one I was expecting. And two, you back up, you do your little steps, you do what you need to do.
Uh-huh.
The goalie, I don't know what she did, but she, jumped. She didn't, jump, it wasn't illegal, but I went wide. I cried.
But there was another time in that game that you, smashed the ball off, the crossbar, and it was late, because you only lost by 1.
Yeah, we lost 1 now. It's horrible.
Yeah. And I'm watching that game, and it was just a topic of conversation about D1 versus D2 and stuff like that. I'm like, there's not that much difference. And in terms of your schedule, all the D2, D3, you're still putting in the same amount of work as D1.
And I will say, so when I started at Daemen, now the conference has changed a lot, whatever, but we had Bridgeport, Mercy, and LIU. They were nationally ranked.
Didn't you have Lemoyne? Was Lemoyne in your conference?
Lemoyne's out of conference. They're in the NE10.
Well, not anymore.
Are they in the ECC now?
They moved up to D1. Lemoyne is D1 now. We have a couple players that are at Lemoyne. Yeah, they just moved up. And it's only based on amount of sports.
Yeah, that's all it is. You need to have X amount of sports.
So yeah, and they're in like an Eastern Conference and Northeast Conference or something like that.
Yeah. I feel like I know what conference
they were trying to get into like Canisius,
like the MAC?
Niagara, the MAAAC.
Yeah, the one with 2 A's.
Yeah, exactly. So
I did not know they went D1.
Yeah. We just had another player just commit there.
See.
And so
but that's what happened to LIU Post. They went with LIU Brooklyn, and now they're D1, I think. And
they're like talking to Peyton Cadre goes there, and talking to her, like the facilities are really nice and seems pretty like legit.
They have a nice field, yeah.
How are Daemen's facilities? You play at the Park School,
yeah,
or Park whatever it's called. Where do you train? Do you train there too? Sometimes
we'll train at Park or the Pepsi Center.
Yep.
Northtown Center now. We'll train there. That's
outdoor
what.
turf.
Nope,
Wait,
it's
they don't
grass.
have turf, they have grass.
We train on grass. Sometimes we play at South. Sometimes we'll practice at South. I know when I started, they were like, we'll have a field, we'll have a locker room. It's still in the works. So.
What did you guys do during the winter? Gym?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time in the gym or sportsplex.
Or sportsplex.
Yeah.
And like gym, you just do like futsal?
Yeah, futsal, small-sided stuff, 1v1s.
What was your like lifting schedule like at Daemen? Did you guys have a weight room and everything?
Yeah, so you know Daemen where like the main campus is?
No. I don't think I've ever like I don't even think I've driven by Daemen.
You probably haven't even noticed.
Where is it?
It's on Main Street. You know where Amherst High School is?
Yes.
Quite literally across the street.
Okay.
So Amherst is here.
I have driven by that.
Amherst is here. Daemen is here. The AWC, which is where like the gym is.
Yeah.
And like there's classrooms. It's open to the public. It's all that. But I think in recent years they have an athletes gym. But I don't know. I haven't been around. But no turf field yet.
Are you sure you don't want to coach? Because you could go back there and coach.
No.
I bet you.
I don't think so.
No?
No.
It's just Dan and Dan.
They have a GA.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. I've heard nothing but great things about the GA, actually.
Female? Male?
Male, actually. I was surprised because Dan usually likes to have a woman on staff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But no.
Have you ever had a female coach?
Yes. Like throughout my entire career?
Well.
Or in college?
No. Your entire career?
Yes. I had Julie DeMarco was my coach when I was 12. It was the time.
Is that at Empire?
I must have been younger. I don't know, but we used to be able to dual card. I don't know if you can do that anymore.
Yeah, so you can to a certain age.
Yes, for a certain age. So I was with Empire and Northtowns for a little bit. Julie was the Northtowns coach, and she was the only women's coach that I've had, like, consistently. I've had, like, women assistant coaches and all that stuff, but normally it's been...
I used to play... I coached with a player. She played at Oakland University. It's a Division I school back home in Michigan. And she would always talk about like how she hated playing for women.
It's different.
Why is it different? Because all I hire is women apparently right now.
But I think that's good.
I need yeah, I know. But I was telling Marissa the other day, I'm like, I need another guy here. Like I love them. I love Marissa and I love Carissima, but. It's like I had Max Quitchoff last year, but now he's in Long Island or Rhode Island doing an internship this summer. So I have no men. That's okay. But what's the difference?
It's hard. I haven't had a female coach since I was 12, so it's kind of all we know. But I do think it takes a very special man to be able to coach women. Not every man can coach.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's a delicate balance between being understanding and actually knowing and caring about your players and pushing us. So if you get to know us and you care, so you're going to be able to push us.
Absolutely.
You can't just like from the jump.
The thing about Anson Dorrance talks about this. He goes, somebody asked him a question, and he's like, okay, how or what's the difference between coaching men and coaching women?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, do you have 3 hours? Because we can talk about it all day. But the gist of what he said was, you drive men, you lead women.
Yeah, that's a good. He's brilliant.
He is brilliant.
That's a good way to put it.
He is brilliant.
He is.
And I've always thought about that. It's like, I think it's very easy to motivate women.
Mm-hmm.
Men, boys, 10-year-olds in here, their ego,
huge.
And I'm like, dude, you're 10. Like, easy.
It doesn't get better.
Yeah. And whereas girls, they want to please the coach. They want to hear a good job. They want to be coached. They want to know what I need to work on.
Right.
If something is bad, they want to hear it.
And the communication is so different.
It is.
So different.
It is. I actually had somebody message me who's watched all the college videos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wow, the girls are like so much more forward. Then I've only done one with a boy who plays at Mercyhurst. The guys are coming in, once they all get home. But yeah, the girls are like, he's like, oh, they're so forward and they're outgoing, and I'm like, well, also I've been around them for 7 years.
It's a conversation.
It is a conversation. It's not like, so what's your favorite color?
Right.
Like, I hate that crap. Or like, okay.
It's not like an interview where there's...
In 2020, I saw that you scored 7 goals. What was that like? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
No, it's just like, dude, it's a conversation.
Right.
And I'm close with most of my players. I'm
right.
pretty close.
Right.
So I don't know. But, yeah, I think motivation, I've noticed this with some clubs in the area. Their coach will go to a player that is underperforming, and then instead of saying, hey, you know what, you're better than this.
Right.
You know what, your standard is here and you're dropping.
Right.
Like, we need to figure out what's going on and just recalibrate.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, they said, I have a player that is going to replace you.
And that's not helpful.
That's not how you motivate women.
It's not.
You don't motivate girls like that. You could do that to guys.
Right. But I feel like women need to be encouraged. And the threat just makes us, I don't want to speak for every, woman ever, but being threatened like that, it doesn't create an environment where you can reach for that standard.
Absolutely. And I hear it all the time. Oh, do you know how many people call me about this team all the time, wanting to have their daughter come over there? And then tryouts happen, and then there's nobody there.
Right.
It's just a lie to scare the shit out of young girls to work harder.
Exactly.
It's like, you don't have to scare girls. All you have to do is just motivate them a little bit.
And
give them a little bit of encouragement.
Especially when they're younger. And in college, Dan Dolan, he used to say you need to know your players. So he would know who he could yell at and who he couldn't.
Right.
So one of my really good friends on the team, she was a fabulous center mid, incredible. Mm-hmm. She would get in her head if she made a bad pass, if we didn't connect something. And we knew not to be like, what the heck are you doing? We'd be like, hey, we need you. You can make that pass. It was, we need you. We know you can do it, and do it. Relieve the pressure that they're already putting on themselves.
Right.
And I'm happy that he knew who he could and couldn't yell at. And I think that relationship is so important to have, especially with the coach.
Right. And then it's so easy. If I had a team that wasn't very good, right? But then we had an amazing performance. And, we won a game that we shouldn't have won or something like that. Or a player just did phenomenally. I go, you just screwed up. And they're like,
what do you mean?
Why did we screw up? It's like, that's your standard now. That's how good you have to be all the time now, because I know that it's in you. Right. Now you have to live up to that standard. And that clicks with female players so much more than I'm just going to replace you. But
Right.
so many coaches that I've been around my entire life, especially Vardar, back home,
Mm-hmm.
coaches will purposely treat players like shit, hoping
They leave.
that they leave. So that because no coach, no matter how evil that coach is, no coach wants to cut a kid.
And that's sick.
It is sick.
That is, and it
breaks my heart.
ruins. It ruins the
it
sport
ruins
for the
it.
girls, and
100%.
it's not.
And it happens here.
It
happens everywhere.
It's not fun. No one. There were times where I was scared to practice. I didn't want to go to practice.
In college or in high school?
Like growing up.
Yeah.
Like going through club and everything.
Not at South though.
No, never.
Not with Mac.
Mac was, oh my God.
We haven't even talked about Mac yet.
Mac was the best coach I've probably had, hands down. As like a person, he was the perfect example of caring about his team more than the results. And that made us want to work so much harder for him.
Well, I can see it with how close you guys all were after you guys were done playing.
Right.
Right? And I forget who I heard this from, but somebody was like, judge how you're viewed as a coach by how many weddings of former players you are invited to.
Yep.
And I kind of live by it. I seriously live by that. Like, it's like, there's so many players that go through all of this, spend all this money, and then as soon as they're out those doors, they don't really care about it.
No.
And they don't.
Mac,
When was the last time you saw a coach at one of the big clubs have an hour-long conversation with a player?
Never. And Mac, he would
That's why I wanna
email
do
me.
this.
He would email me in college. He would come to games.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he, far and away, just incredible.
The best.
The best. But, yeah, he was unreal.
That job's up for, that job's posted. I guess they have to post every single year. It's
Yeah,
stupid.
that is stupid because I don't know her name, but isn't she going to get it?
Melissa?
Yeah. Where's Kristen? Is Kristen going to do it? Really? I hope she does.
I think so. Yeah. I probably won't air this until after, because so she applied, and
That's what Mac wanted, I think.
Oh, of course, yeah. And then she got the Norway opportunity. She was going to be the varsity coach last year.
Right.
But Norway happened and all that.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
She had to do that, of course.
Yeah. And it's funny talking to her about Norway. I haven't done an interview with her yet, and I want, or Marcy since being back, because it's funny talking to them about their experience.
I thought Kristen was going to be done with soccer, though.
What do you mean?
I thought she was, after Norway, she was going to be like... I was surprised to see that she was playing for FC Buffalo for another summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think I don't know. It's complicated
sure it
with
is.
her. Like she said last year, before the Norway opportunity, she was like, I don't know about, FC Buffalo next year and stuff like that, but everything's leading towards it. It's looking just a little bit better at FC Buffalo. There's not such a stamp from UB players of hey, we have this great team all year long, and then boom, when games get really important, we lose it to UB players.
Right.
Well, they're all graduated.
Yeah, they are.
You know what I mean?
True.
Well, a lot of them are.
Right.
But I mean, they don't really have a goalie, a full-time goalie, because Emily's in Australia now.
Oh yeah, that was really exciting. I was happy to see that for her.
Yeah. And yeah.
Yeah. Shame.
I mean, but yes, it looks like she's gonna interview on Monday. They're calling people out today, I think.
Yeah.
Of everybody because Melissa was coached last year.
Sure.
And then it looks like she called Charisma and she was like, "Hey, if you get it, I'll just be your JV coach and we'll just
have the time."
Yeah. And then I think Tony's still gonna be there. I flirted with assisting. I flirted with
You
it
should do it.
because of last Saturday.
Maybe I'll flirt with assisting her.
Let's because again, last Saturday or the last few weeks, going out to these games and seeing just little things that should be just sharpened up, and it's just not happening, and that just got my just a little bit of an itch.
Yeah. No, I would like to coach. I don't know if I'd want my own team.
Yeah.
But I would like to coach.
Well, once we get going in here.
Yeah. I just ref at night. Otherwise, I'm free as a bird.
Yeah, summer is going to be, I think we're going to be busy.
Free as a bird.
But then, I don't know, there's some players that are like, we only want Jason. They don't even want like Charisma. And like, Charisma's been here 3 years now.
Yeah, I'd want Charisma.
Well, see, that's what's funny, is that's how it always starts. Like, well, we only want you. But now these people like love Charisma. I had a parent that, seriously, when I hired her, was like, you better not have her train my daughter. And I'm like, you're not going to have a say.
That's so out of line, first
I'm like,
of all.
you're not going to have a say.
And who you hire,
gonna...
that's an extension of you.
Exactly.
If you didn't trust him, you wouldn't hire him.
Exactly. And now, that family loves her. They are brokenhearted when she's not here.
Who doesn't love Christmas?
I mean, but yeah, but my goal is I want to be able to have 2 sessions almost going here at all times, and then I want to go to like North Towns or Rochester and have 2 sessions going on there. That's my long-term goal.
I think you could do that.
Because we have a lot of kids in the South Towns, and
oh yeah,
and it would just, I think, if we just started 1 or 2 nights in the South Towns, it would just hopefully. But we're trying to figure out I don't know, marketing, and I'm trying to wrap my head around sponsorships. Like, I don't understand how that works.
Yeah.
Here, can I have money so that we can buy T-shirts, and we just put a sign up? It's like, does that work? That's what I want to know.
Like, if you were to sponsor, or someone were to sponsor you?
Somebody were to sponsor me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already in the works of sponsoring some of the local clubs, because I think
that's a good way.
I think even Clarence, right?
Especially
Clarence
because
is right
you're
here.
not a club.
Right. So why would you fight? I used to be this way though. There's a guy that does what I do in Michigan, and he has 7 coaches now, and he's in 5 locations, and he's just massive.
Wow.
And when I was younger, I hated my players going to him because I had an ego, and I thought, well,
right.
I do a good job. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I train you guys 3 times a week. You guys need more training than just 3 times a week.
And different.
So, different voices. Absolutely. There's some teams at local clubs that have the same coach for 6 years.
Right. It's like
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so going back to the Charisma and Marissa thing is I don't allow people to choose. Unless it's maybe a Saturday, which mostly it's just me training, but it's like, hey, you're going to have me this week, you're going to have Charisma that week, the next week, and then you're going to have Marissa the following week.
Right.
And then we just rotate so that you never have the same coach twice in a week. Sometimes I screw it up, but for the most part, that's how we roll. And then what I want to do is if we were in the 2 locations, then one night it's going to be Charisma and Marissa here, and then me and you go over there. And then the next night, maybe you're here, and then it's me and Marissa over there. And then it's just rotating and rotating and rotating, because I don't want to just be... I don't want people to say, let's go to Jason's.
Right.
I want them to say, well, let's go to PlayMaker.
Right, and that's the brand.
I can't stand soccer companies and soccer clubs that are named after the person. There's a reason why it's not Jason Collinsworth Soccer Academy. Or Jason Collinsworth Soccer School. That's a popular one. No, it's PlayMaker. You're not going to Marissa. You're not going to Carissa. You're not going to Jason.
PlayMaker.
PlayMaker. Boom.
That's the brand.
I hope so.
It is.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I did say I'm going to Jason.
Well, that's different. Okay. With college players, it's mostly going to be me.
Yeah.
And with like you guys, when it was you and Carissa and
Marcy.
Biz.
Mm-hmm.
Biz isn't playing anymore.
No. I don't know what she's doing.
I think she just got that job. That's
Yeah,
really good. Yeah, she has a really good job.
Busy more.
She went to South too, right?
Yeah.
Was she your grade?
Yep.
Who did you like? Who was your biggest rival?
East.
Right, and then, but you guys regularly beat them.
Yeah, up until my senior year.
Up until, was Christmas just 1 year older than you?
2.
She graduated in 2014.
Correct. So freshman, sophomore, right before.
Right before. But then where would you guys lose in states?
We would lose in the Far West regionals.
To who?
Freshman year we lost to Brighton.
Okay.
Sophomore year we lost to Honey Eye Falls. Junior year we didn't make it out of the section junior year. Junior year we lost to Grand Island. And I think that was a
And that was Pizzino, that was Marcy.
Yeah. That was Megan O'Leary and Net.
Uh-huh.
And then my senior year, we only made it to the second round. We lost to East.
And that was Marissa, right?
That was Marissa.
Marissa Person, and who else was on that team? Or was Marissa just the catalyst?
Yeah, there was.
She was up top. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
No, that's what it was. It was Marissa.
Uh-huh.
They were very good.
Yeah.
Getting her the ball.
Why don't you do broadcasting?
Oh, I have to go
Like your
get
dad.
a whole nother degree for that.
Really?
Yeah. I have to go in like journalism, broadcasting, and
You know who's doing that?
who?
Gretchen.
I did know that actually.
Yeah,
She changed her major.
She just got like a really good internship. I forget where she's going.
Oh, good.
Well, her uncle.
The Hornets,
is,
right, Charlotte?
No, now he's in, I think, Sacramento.
Oh.
And Sacramento had a really good year.
Yeah.
He used to coach the Pistons.
Oh.
Her uncle, but
No.
and then he retired for a little bit, and then somebody pulled him back in.
Yeah. Gretchen is. I love.
I need to
that
get
girl.
her in here, before she leaves or when she gets back, because she has a story.
She does. That girl. She's
You
been
know,
through it.
ACLs and the
Lupus.
and
Yeah.
like
And she's so sweet as can be.
I love that kid.
So do I. She's a good one. She's captain for Daemen now.
Yeah, I saw that. Good for her.
Yeah. No, she's a real sweetheart. She comes from a good family too. Her
Oh
mom.
yeah, her mom. I love
Her mom is my gym teacher.
Her dad's awesome too.
Yeah, I don't know her dad that well, but her mom is.
Yeah.
She was my gym teacher in middle school.
Would you coach at South?
Yeah, I would be Christmas assistant. Or the assistant to the assistant. Yeah. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think that would be like a good mix of.
Don't tell her. Don't tell her.
Oh, no, I won't say a word. But if she's looking for an assistant, let her know.
I don't understand how assistants don't get paid.
It doesn't surprise me.
It's mind-boggling how far behind Buffalo is in terms of like little stuff to help the athletic departments.
Yeah.
One, we paid, this is 2000, 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002. We had to pay to go into every single sporting event. Basketball, soccer, girls soccer, volleyball, everything except baseball and softball, you had to pay.
Nope. We only had to pay to go into football.
That's easy money.
I think even basketball.
That's easy money right into the athletic program that you're going to watch. One, okay? Two, pay to participate. We had, right after I graduated, starting in like 2005, pay to participate. So if you were a 3-sport athlete, you had to pay a flat rate of $100 or $150. I think it's like $250 now. But you pay $250 and you play all the sports that you want. Obviously, there's scholarship for kids in need.
I think
right?
that, yeah.
And that's one fee. And if you think about it, high school has 1,000 athletes. My school had like 3,000 people in it.
Yeah, we didn't.
So that's, okay, let's call it 500 athletes because we got track. Track is...
Everyone.
I mean, varsity football is 100 kids alone.
I never understood
JV,
that. Right.
freshman, that's 300 kids right there.
Right.
Just in the football program, right? You times that by $150, your football program is basically paid for. But no, everything is free here. Then buses. We didn't have buses home from games. So the buses would take us because bus drivers are paid hourly, right? So they sit there and they park for a JV and a varsity game. They're parked there for 4 hours.
Right.
And that's pay. So what they do is they drop us off and they go home, and that's saving money. Here, everything's bused there
Right, you
and
have to
back.
take the bus home.
Yeah. And it's like, you guys could have so much more money than assistants.
I didn't even know that.
So assistants make money, get paid
Right.
back home, right? And like when the varsity coach can make 10 grand, that's pretty good money for a varsity program.
Right.
Or coaching a varsity, and then JV would be like 5,000, and freshman would be about 3,000, and then your assistants also got paid either through the boosters or through
something.
But here, I talk to your dad about this all the time, how frustrating it is. I could go to UB women's soccer game for free.
Right.
What is going on?
Yeah. You can go to a lot of games here for free.
I don't get it.
I never even thought about it.
It's time
Especially
warped.
in high school.
It's
I
like
never thought about it.
It's like 1995 in Michigan.
Good year.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Good year.
I mean, I wasn't born that year, but it has to be a good year.
Chris was born that year.
I thought she was 96.
I think so. I think it's 95.
Really?
I think so.
Isn't she January 96?
You in 97 or 98?
98. What?
I just think about how old I was in 98.
Yeah, I was new.
You were new?
Yeah, September 98.
September 98. Oh, yeah. Pretty good chat. I love doing this.
I know.
I would rather not coach and only do this.
Yeah.
And then basically, like last night, Marissa and Charisma were both running sessions. I only ran 2 sessions. And I sit in the middle, and then I'll video, and I'll like take pictures, and I'll like talk to the players and stuff like that, but I'm not running the sessions. And I think that's how directors of coaching should be. I don't think directors of coaching should be coaching teams. I think directors should be directing your coaches.
Yes. Coaching
Coaching your coaches.
Coaching
They talk about that with Andy Reid. They go, Andy Reid, yeah, he coaches the players, but he's mostly coaching the coaches who coaches, and that's why his coaching tree is really good. Sean McDermott
We love.
came under Andy Reid.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We're back in Arrowhead this year, aren't we?
Yes, again.
Yeah. Hello.
Yep. And then the Lions open up week 1, and all of my friends back home are Lions fans, so we're already trying to plan a trip.
Yeah, I'm trying to go to the Bills-Eagles game.
In Philly?
Yeah, and I'm hoping it's a warm weather game.
They play at Philly.
Yeah.
That's tough. We play Philly at home.
You play everyone at home.
Yeah, I mean, it's true though. We play the Bengals, we play the Bills, we play the Eagles, all at home.
I know.
Our toughest games are at home. It's awesome. It's just how the algorithm works.
I'm sure. Mm-hmm.
It is. It is. There's a special thing that's why it's always home. But the year 2020, the Chiefs were here.
Oh, please.
And there's no fans. It sucked.
Right. I know. So that doesn't count as like a true home game.
I know. I would have gone. It sucks. But yeah.
Well,
Yep.
that sucks.
Whatever.
Whatever.
I mean, you guys ever gonna win one?
God, I hope so.
I hope so too.
I was talking to my dad about it, and you know how my dad is. He's like, just hope one of my team wins one before I go. And I'm like, Stu, it's so morbid.
I'm so happy that my parents got to see the Chiefs win because like when they were little kids, they weren't like diehard Chiefs fans.
Right.
But now it's like
They are.
we've been diehard Chiefs fans since like '91.
Ugh, you should have seen my dad in 2017 when Cleveland. When Cleveland, the baseball team, the Guardians.
Yeah. The Guardians.
I know. Game 7, he was beside himself. I came home and he was sitting in like our living room in the dark. And I was like, "Are you okay?" he was unwell for like a little bit. And he just felt so bad. He was like, that rain delay. I was like, I know. He was so, and you feel bad for the guy. Because he lived through the 4 falls. 2017. And the Sabres haven't been promising since what, 2005, 2006?
Since Hasek, probably.
No, yeah. Oh.
What?
Well, yeah.
Or
Boyar.
What's Jason Miller? Jason Miller?
Ryan Miller?
Ryan Miller?
Jason Pominville.
What?
Ryan Miller, Jason Pominville.
There you go.
Yeah.
They were promising this year.
Yeah, but not.
And the Bills are always promising lately.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That window's starting to close. So.
You think?
I don't know.
I think last year might have been.
Well, there's rumors going around.
About what?
I don't know if I can talk about this.
What do you mean?
That there were cops at Josh Allen's house at 4 a.m. the night before the divisional game.
Oh, because of his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have heard that.
Yeah.
I have heard that.
So.
See, I heard that she was like throwing things.
Oh yeah,
and
like Tiger Woods
windows.
type stuff. Like when she took the golf club to Tiger Woods' face.
Yeah.
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 That happened.
I heard a lot of rumors about that.
Yeah.
Joshua Patrick, not his best. But we don't know what happened. Speculation.
Yeah. Sure.
You know what happened.
I don't know. But.
I was at dinner a few weeks ago with my friends, and one of the questions was, you could have dinner with anyone who's dead or alive. One girl goes, Josh Allen, his ex-girlfriend, and the mistress.
That's great.
I was like, you're wrong for that, but that's awesome.
I don't know. Supposedly, she cheated first.
Right, I heard that as well.
And then he kind of like got back at her.
Right, mature.
And then...
And
then she lost her shit.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Well, at least nobody's in jail, like our quarterback's brother. But whatever.
It's fine. It's not Patrick, so who cares?
Exactly.
Not a good look, but it's not him.
He's gonna get kicked out of the family, probably.
I mean...
Here's $1 million, go away.
Right, shut up. Forever.
That's all he has to do.
I mean, he'll probably get more than $1 million, but yeah.
I think he gets 2%. I think he gets 2%. So let's say $500 million, right? What's 2% of $500 million?
I have no idea.
Times point.
Like 20 something?
10.
10?
Yeah, it's 10 million. I think it's a 2% payment.
How?
I think it's like in his contract that like each family member gets like a 2% cut. Each immediate family member.
Oh my god.
Like his little sister, but doesn't get it until like...
She's like 18.
Yeah. Mom, dad, even the dad who played professional basketball or baseball, you know. Supposedly. I don't know if that's true or not. But it makes sense.
Yeah, why not?
Guy's gonna be a billionaire.
Right, you have like so much money that 2%. Everyone can have a few mil.
He makes more money off the field than he does on the field. So
that's good business.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Ugh. To make that kind of money.
Like, I don't know. I don't think I want kids, but if I wanted kids, I would like... You're kicking a football before you're like kicking a soccer ball.
Yeah, you're doing something.
Yeah. You're doing something that pays well.
Right.
Soccer isn't it? Not in this country.
Not lucrative enough?
I mean, I had a player that played in Michigan. He's had like a 10-year MLS career. Mm-hmm. His lifetime earnings is like, I think $2 million. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Playing soccer.
Yeah, but like in compared to other sports.
I know, right?
It's like, yeah. It's chump change.
And I think at that level, it's like, it just becomes such a job.
Yeah.
I mean, did you feel that way at college?
Yes. And I don't think it was necessarily like what the school required of me, but it's what is required.
What goes into being a Division I, Division II, Division III athlete.
Right, like the training, the workouts, the summer teams you had to play on.
The nutrition.
Yeah. I mean, that usually I missed the mark there, but everything else I was hitting and like.
What? The nutrition?
Yeah, that's the hardest part.
What do you mean?
The nutrition was the hardest part for me in college. If I fueled myself how I do now in college, world of difference, I think.
How do you fuel yourself now?
For starters, I eat 3 meals a day. That wasn't happening in college.
Okay. So you don't do fasting?
No.
Okay.
I don't. My body cannot operate on that. But no, so I eat 3 meals a day. I'm more conscious about like my protein intake, and it's just like less processed foods. But so when we were on the road, like we would have snacks, we would have like gummies, we would have like crackers, we'd have like, juice and stuff, which was fine, but it's not the best. After games, we would have pizza,
right?
And like that's fine, but like when you're having that like 3 days a week,
every single day,
and you're not eating lunch, or like you would forget to eat, then you would find yourself in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
And then how did you learn about that?
I learned about that actually because of my peanut allergy.
I didn't know you had a peanut allergy.
Yeah.
You should get rid of the peanut butter pretzels over there.
So I was not feeling well for the longest. No one knew what it was. They were like, lactose intolerant. I said, all right. So I didn't eat dairy for a little bit. And then I wasn't feeling any better. And so I had all these tests done, blah, blah. I wasn't feeling better. Ron was like, you should see a nutritionist. And I was like, okay. So he set me up with someone, and they put me on an elimination diet. So basically, I wasn't eating gluten, corn, soy, sugar. Like it was like chicken, fruit and vegetables, and some grains. Like it was very strict, and I wasn't feeling better at all. Like I actually think I got worse on that. Mm-hmm. And one of the things you could eat was tree nuts. So I was eating an almond one day, my tongue started to tingle, which was normal for me though. That had happened my entire life. But I finally asked my parents if that happened to them, and they were like, "Are you stupid? No." So I went to the allergist the next day, and they were like, "You're allergic to peanuts and tree nuts." So I took those out of my diet, and I feel so much better, like all the time.
How old were you when this happened?
22. Yeah.
You didn't know you had a peanut allergy until you were 22?
Mm-mm. And
must not be that dangerous.
No, it's like I
almost killed a kid. I almost killed a kid with peanut allergy. It wasn't my fault. No, it was at the old place at SPP, right? Mm-hmm. It was summer, and during the day there was a camp, and some kid had a peanut butter sandwich sitting on the table, and we didn't clean it properly or whatever. They didn't clean it properly. Gwen Jaros, who plays at Niagara Wheatfield, who's going to Cleveland State, goes and sits on the table and goes like this. Halfway through the session, she can't breathe.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever had to call an ambulance for
crazy.
A kid. It was terrifying.
Yeah, no.
And we didn't have like an EpiPen or
right.
And she did. And she on that particular day she forgot her EpiPen.
Of course.
And it's
scary.
It was terrifying.
Yeah, no. That I do have an EpiPen, but I won't. At least not yet.
Almost my entire family is gluten free because my sisters and they each have a son that is celiacs, so they can't have gluten at all.
Yeah, and
or else they can get like cross contamination's huge.
Yeah.
Right. So, but and then I don't know if going gluten free really like helps with like weight and stuff like that though.
No, I think really it just depends on what your body needs, though. It's like your body needs carbs, and like gluten products have carbs. So if you don't have like an intolerance, then there's really no reason to like cut it out. You're just restricting yourself.
We had a player who, when she was younger, she had an eating disorder.
Mm-hmm.
She like wouldn't eat, and
scary.
it was sad. And the reason why she got that way is because she was actually reading a bunch of like sport biographies, and then they were reading like what they eat. And so she's like, well, I need to eat what they're. I'm like,
she's
dude,
like
you're
10.
10.
Yeah. Like, you can have the goldfish.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
right?
right.
Exactly. And so now she's having a lot of like injuries right now.
Right, because she
Bone
was
structure.
malnourished.
Yeah, the like bone structure.
The osteoporosis, you were malnourished, especially as like a woman, your body, you need that. Like, you lose so much that you need the nutrients and stuff. It's scary. And eating disorders are so prevalent in athletics. So prevalent. Like, I think you'd be surprised.
What do you... Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yes.
Well, you know so, probably. But really?
And
because you always like see the videos of like soccer girl problems and like their plates are full.
And and at least in my experience, talking. So I've worked for the past 2.5 years
working with athletes.
And I would hear the way they like talk about food and like talk about working out, and I'm like, when are you sleeping? Like, have you eaten breakfast today? Like, what have you eaten today? And even with the males, they'll be like, oh, I had a granola bar at like 9:30. It's like 2 p.m. It's like, and you wonder why you're tired.
Fasting.
Right. But like, when you're doing that much, you can't.
You have to like replenish those calories that you're burning
And
out.
I was talking with one of my students once, and he was like, oh, I've had like 12,000 calories just juice today. I haven't eaten anything. And I was just like,
that's ridiculous.
Right. And even when I was in college, like, some of the girls, you're like, are you good?
No, do you think it's like, is bulimia really a thing anymore? Or is it anorexia?
I think it's more anorexia than anything. And like, at least from what I've seen and I've heard about.
I feel like
it's so restricted. Like, you might not even know because you see them eat, but like, what are they eating? Like, if you're just eating like
just junk, that's
right.
really just empty calories.
Or if you're just eating like vegetables, like you're not getting all the nutrients you need from like a salad every day. I love salads, but like, you need more.
You know what's funny? Marcy and Carissima both said that in Iceland and in Norway, you can't find a salad.
That's scary.
Isn't it interesting though?
Yeah.
Because they're all thinner than Americans.
Yeah, well, their food is so different.
Right.
The way their food's processed, the way the food's
right.
grown.
But it's also funny that they can't buy a salad there.
Yeah.
It's like, is salad really a thing? Is it really a healthy thing? I've read a book about, it's called Lectins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so most plants at one time were wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no wild thing wants to get eaten.
Right, it's like all poisons.
So then it develops its own like poison so that this wolf won't come and eat me.
Right, we're the wolves.
We're the wolves.
Right, I have no idea.
And like that book, like it's called like the Plant Paradox. That book was like, made me wonder. But I don't know. So okay, I want to talk about Drexel just really quick.
Yeah, okay.
You were working with athletes.
Yes.
In the athletic department?
Correct.
And you don't want to do that full time?
No. I love.
What were you doing?
So I was the student athlete academic
advisor.
No. I was like the liaison between athletics and academics.
Okay.
So part of my job is working with at-risk student athletes. So say
the one like the 2.0.
Right. The low. I've had zeros, I've had ones, I've worked with a whole bunch of kids, and we meet weekly, bi-weekly, whatever they really need. We'll sit down, we'll go over their syllabi, we'll figure out what to do, when it's due, how we're going to do it, we'll develop a plan, and we'll do that every single week for the 10-week term. and I'll check their grades. I will encourage communication with their professors. I will talk to their coaches. I will, talk to them about any issues. But then on the other hand, another part of my job was, say if a kid unfortunately got hurt, so concussions, we see them all the time, I would communicate with the professors. I'd be like, hey, so-and-so is out. I wouldn't say with what, just because like HIPAA and stuff, and you don't have to prove, but I would say, hey, so-and-so is out for this reason. It's...
But if they had a concussion, you would say...
No, so I wouldn't say concussion. I would just say something along the lines of, hey, they suffered an injury during the game. They're going to be out for however long. They will reach out to you in a few days, few weeks, and then, they'll communicate with their professors, or I'll communicate with their professors and then get them caught up.
Did you work with specific sports or all athletes?
I worked with specific sports. So my last year I had women's soccer, men's crew, men's and women's tennis, and the spirit team.
Did Daemen have this position? What division is Drexel?
Drexel's Division 1.
Okay.
Daemen's Division 2. Daemen had someone, but it wasn't like this. So I think if you were an at-risk student athlete, I think you would meet with the person, and they'd be like, hey, you need to get 6 hours of study hall. And they might meet a few times this semester just to catch up, but I don't think it was as organized or intentional as Drexel's. Yeah.
And you don't want to do that?
No, I don't. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it, but I think as a full-time position, I don't think it would be something that I'd want to do. I also don't really have the education to do it. So they prefer psychology majors, education majors.
What's your major?
Business. I got my MBA.
Right. And sports administration.
Right. Sport. Yeah.
Sports administration isn't good enough for that job?
Nope. Sport business is not.
It needs to be what? Psychology?
Psychology.
Why psychology?
Because when you sit down and you talk to kids about their grades, it can be a little touchy. Higher ed's a popular one. I think Marcy's getting her higher ed degree, or she was. I don't know if
she's still working on it.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think I want something more corporate, to be honest.
More corporate? Yeah. What does that mean?
I want the 9 to 5.
Ew.
I know.
It's like Carissima.
No, it's what I want.
It's seriously like Carissima. Like Carissima was like that because she was obviously in here,
right.
And only doing here for a while, and then she's now at Kentown schools, and she's like, I can't do this like coaching thing just coaching.
No,
it's tough. It's different. It's weird. Like
your hours
are so weird. Like so, my days are really. Yeah. I mean, summer's a little bit more normal,
right? Because
we can train during the day, but my hours are 3 to 9, 3 to 8.
Absolutely not.
And then I'm the type of person that like, you ever play in a game or like you're playing a co-ed game, and then you're done. You can't just go home and go to bed.
No, you have
to like wind down and like relax.
Watch a show.
Exactly. Yeah. Watch the game.
Right. Yeah, and 9 to 5, I need that kind of structure. So I do really, really well with structure, which is no surprise. Like you grow up with structure and you have a schedule. I thrive in that environment. So not having one, like right now, is really hard for me because I can do whatever I want. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's awesome. But it's like...
So you don't... So you don't think you want to work in sports at all?
No. I love sports.
I know you do.
I love them. I love...
Your dad.
Right. I love watching them. I love the business about them. I love that. But I think I'm at the point where I want sports to just be fun and just be something that I enjoy. And I think if I were to work in them, I would lose that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens.
Right. And like with my dad, he worked in sports for like 30 some years. And he said it was always hard because he couldn't sit at home and be a fan.
Right.
He was like, I have to worry about the 11 o'clock package and then, daybreak and all this stuff. And I was like, that sucks.
Right.
And I have friends who work for the Sabres. It's like, your hours are whack. And you're working on weekends until
What do they do for the Sabres?
I don't know his exact position, but he started there a while ago. He was Sabretooth for a hot second. But now but now he has like a different.
So that's how you get into the Sabres? You gotta do the mascot?
He was Buster Bison as well.
Jesus.
But yeah, it's like that's not the kind of life that I want.
You don't want to be a mascot?
No, I don't actually. Oh my god, that'd be my worst nightmare. That sweaty little thing. But
so you're just gonna try to get into business?
Yeah. I'm applying. Hoping for the best.
And not for pyramid schemes.
Yeah. My ideal start date isn't until September 1st. So,
okay.
So like I definitely have the time, but
You want to enjoy the summer.
Right, and like this summer, so Rachel Gramp's getting married.
Yep.
And so I'm going to Taylor Swift this weekend.
Oh boy. How did you get tickets?
Oh my god. I was in that queue for hours. 8 hours. It was insane. I canceled meetings for that. I said sorry. But it was so worth it. So I'm going to Taylor Swift this weekend. You know, she has her bridal shower, her bachelorette's in July. There's the vacation in the end of July. And then her actual wedding is in August. And it's like, I don't want to start a job and be like, hey, I need time off every single month.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that
That's
would really... Smart. I just don't think it would go over well.
That's smart.
So, we'll see what happens. Like, I could start August 1st, no problem.
But you want to stay in Buffalo?
Yeah. I think I do.
That's something that I noticed the very first time that I was here with the Flash was like, everybody comes back to Buffalo.
Everyone comes back to Buffalo.
If they leave, they always come back.
Yes. And
Michigan is not like that. They're gone, they're gone.
I don't think a lot of places are like that because even like my friends in Philadelphia, they're like, really? I'm like,
yeah. Like people don't understand Buffalo.
It's different. It really is. And I remember being 17 and I want to go away. Like, I don't want to be here.
And then you never did, and now you're a lifer.
Yeah. Well, I went away for 2 years.
Philly.
Yeah. And going away makes you appreciate home a little bit more.
Yes.
And my whole family's here, and that's a big thing. I think in college I needed to stay just because certain things going on in my family, like, you know, people were sick and all that. But I think leaving for 2 years was exactly what I needed. I loved it. But like being home, being around friends and family, I think it's good for you. I just can't wait to move out. I think once I move out, I'll be like more Buffalo. I love it.
Where would you live downtown?
It depends on where I work, to be honest.
Because you want that small commute?
Yeah, I do not want like a 40, especially in the morning, like
12-minute bike ride for me.
Drive. I use some days to Drexel. It would take me an hour to get there.
What?
Yeah. I lived 15 minutes away. Yeah.
Why don't you just bus it?
Because I would train. Because I used to do that. And the schedule, so my hours at Drexel, I was 12 to 8.
Oh.
So the train would leave at like 10:30. And I was there like a whole hour early. I was like, what am I going to do? And then there was like a 7:56 train at night. So we would like miss that. We'd have to wait till like 8:30. And I was like, this is whack.
So you just drove an hour.
Some days, not all the time.
Miles.
Not all the time. Not all the time. Sometimes. But yeah, it was foul sometimes. And looking for parking, please. It was too much. And parallel parking? Oh my god. Pretty good at it though.
Dude, the neighborhoods of Philly, like how close the roads are and cars on both sides of you. It is insane. Over by like the stadium and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't drive down there. I'll be there this weekend though, but I didn't drive down there much.
Taylor Swift in Philly?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm so excited.
You're Swiftie?
I am.
Yeah, so is Carissa. Who are you going with? The
My roommates, yeah.
Down there. It's fun.
I'm so excited.
So are they still there?
Yeah, so they're from like 30 minutes outside the city. So now they live in Manayunk. And
In what?
Manayunk, it's like,
Antioch?
yeah.
How far are you from like Lincoln Financial?
I don't know.
Or the Rocky statue?
The Rocky statue, that's like real close to my house.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But we're like,
Did you ever go run the steps?
yeah, you have to. I didn't run them. I walked up them, I'll say. I did not run them.
I've done that too.
You have to. It's like a
Yeah.
ha-ha Philly thing.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, like the art museum was really close. But we live, I think technically we were the last neighborhood of Philadelphia. I think.
What do you mean the last neighborhood in Philadelphia?
Like we were the last, like who had a Philly area code, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because it was like Manayunk, Roxborough, and Roxborough is like,
A suburb?
yeah.
Or yeah.
If that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I like wasn't right in Center City, thankfully, but I was like outside of it.
All right.
Yeah.
Always good chatting.
It was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun.
I love it. I love doing this. Didn't really talk about soccer all that much.
No?
It's okay. I have a couple questions off air.
Okay. I can answer those.
Okay. All right. Jamie Boyar. Thank you.
Of course.